My name is Gabriel Silva. I speak some languages. Today, I'd like to talk about the excitement of language learning and how to use it to progress and achieve a good level as quickly as possible. So, often when we get started with learning a new language, we're very excited. Often we buy a program or we download apps or whatever we do. Initially, it's so exciting, right? But often what happens is that we eventually hit a bit of a wall. We get busy. We have other priorities in life as well. We have work, we have families and so on. And often what happens is that we may not achieve the level of progress that we wanted or hoped for initially, and then we're not as excited. So we lose some motivation, right? But of course, hopefully we keep going and we don't stop. And I would just like to say that when you do feel that excitement, let's say that you're at that stage right now, that you're just stoked, you're super excited about learning a language. Perhaps you've just started, or perhaps you're already at an intermediate level, you've done it for a while, but for whatever reason, you're excited about it right now. I think that it's super important to try to capitalize on that. Put a ton of effort into language learning, as much as you possibly can. So that essentially pushes you. That can help you progress quite a bit in a short period of time. And what that will do is that it will boost your motivation further, okay? If you're already past that stage, let's say that you're no longer excited, your motivation has gone down a little bit, and that's normal. I think that is really valid to say it's normal. We get started with something, we're super stoked. It's like going to the gym, right? So you get a new gym membership, you want to use it, you're so excited, you're like, yeah, I'm going to work out every day. But then life happens and you can't do it as often as you planned. And that's normal too, right? But I think that if you're at that stage where your interest or your excitement plateaus a little bit about learning a language, whatever language you're trying to learn, I think it's really, really important that you try to, rekindle that fire and fan it, the fire of your passion for learning that language. Often it's enough for us to look back and remember exactly why we were so excited in the first place. One thing that I do is that I try to also jump into the culture pretty much every single time. For every new language that I start learning, I usually find really cool things, whether it's, perhaps art, it could be literature, it could be movies, it could be specific artists, musicians, whatever. You get really into them, and then you just want more and more exposure. And that way you regain the excitement and you get some momentum to progress more in the language. I'm way more likely to do a lot of work for a language if I've done it the day before. But if I haven't touched an app or, a book or whatever it is, any resource that I'm really using for the language, what happens is that if I haven't done it for a while, I'm just way less likely to do it now. So it's really important to have some momentum, right? To regain some momentum. And we can always do that by trying to rekindle that initial excitement and refining some motivation so you can jump into the language, jump into the culture, get the momentum going, and do a lot of learning. One thing that I come across quite often as well is when they feel like they haven't had enough progress, and perhaps their expectations were not matching reality. Maybe they wanted to be fluent after a few months. If our expectations about language learning don't turn into reality, of course that can negatively affect our motivation. When that happens, like I said, it's normal, but it's really important for us to, first of all, remember that you gotta be patient as well, right? And if you have a lot of exposure and if you regain some momentum and you do a lot of learning, you will achieve some progress. And we have to have realistic expectations, like I always say. But for today, that's all. So good luck, my friends, learning a new language.